Hey everyone, Irit here. Welcome to another video. This one I thought it would be fun to show you some of my favorite pens and a few inks and journals, things that are most relevant to Inktober. Now, I'm not doing Inktober. I just can't deal with that kind of commitment right now, but I thought it would be fun to share my favorite products. Let's start. Let's begin with pens. That is probably for me personally the most used product. I love sketching. I sketch a lot with watercolors, also without, but mostly with. And this is really the main way that I personally use ink. I'll show you a few other products, but by far pens are my kind of go-to ink product. And I will show you my top 4 and then a few other favorites. Now, the reason I adore these 4 pens is because they are water resistant, but I'll get to that in a sec, and because they are reliable and I know that they will work for me. There's nothing more annoying than opening a pen and having it skip or dry or all kinds of issues. So this is probably my go-to, especially for if I'm, sketching not at home. If I'm scared that my fountain pens will leak, these 2 are fountain pens, then this is really my go-to. This is the Uni-Ball Air Micro. A lot of the products that I'm talking about in this video, you have heard me mention several times because they are my favorite, and yeah, I really enjoy them and highly recommend them to anyone. So this is just like a great go-to pen. It's not refillable. It's something I really like to stock up on, and it's just a fantastic pen. It is water soluble, water resistant, which makes it very easy for me to use with watercolors. Now, the next one is actually one I need to bring it back to rotation. This is the Ohto, spelled like this, Fude Ball 1.5. So it does have a thicker tip. This is, I have no idea how thick this is because it's not a traditional kind of tip. This is really great for art journaling if you do a lot of layers, paint, watercolors, inks, all that stuff, and then you want a really reliable pen. This is a great choice. I discovered this pen thanks to Dina Wakely, and I completely agree with her assessment. It's a really, really great pen. I need to bring it back. I have several of them because yeah, it's just that good. It's also water resistant, which just makes, if you like me and you like to use watercolors, it just makes life a little bit easier when you don't have to worry about getting everything like super smudged or anything like that. So you can see. Now, my favorite fountain pens, this is the Platinum Carbon pen. I'm not sure the nib. I think this is the fine or extra fine. This is a Japanese pen and it is just lovely. This paper is very textured, and because this is such a delicate nib, sometimes it might be a little bit challenging to sketch on very, very textured paper. But all in all, it's really my favorite fountain pen. I love it. I love the line that it creates, and it's probably also the cheapest one. You can get these on Amazon. I think usually they ship from Japan, so I don't get prime shipping, but it's totally worth the wait. And this is also probably something I should stock up on. Not that it goes bad, but you can fill it with different inks. They have converters and you can fill it with any ink you want. I personally love the carbon ink. That is kind of the standard refill for this because it's water resistant, and it's just such a fantastic workhorse pen. I love it. I use it all the time. My second favorite is the Kaweco, and I just really like the packaging. Again, it has a great nib to it. I'm not, you know, I'm not very knowledgeable about tips and nibs and all that. I know that there's a whole world of fountain pens. Personally, I don't see myself spending a ton of money on a fountain pen because I just like to use so many different things. But this one is a really great one. This is a sport version, so it's plastic. They have metal ones that are beautiful. I might splurge one day on that just because I love this so much. It folds down to a really small size, making it great for travel. And it's just a very reliable fountain pen, which is kind of my issue with fountain pens. But this one is really, really great, and I've had it for, I think, a year, a couple of years now. I think I got it for my birthday, and I love it. The ink I have in it, I also have a converter inside, is the sketch ink in Lily. So this is by Rohrer und Klinkner from Germany, and they have this range of sketch inks, which I've mentioned in the past. They have a fantastic color range. I only have the two. I will probably pick up more in the future just because they're so lovely. They're made for sketching with watercolor, it seems, and again, they're water resistant and really, really lovely. Yeah, it's fantastic. Again, it doesn't break the bank. Now, a few other favorites I have. I know Linda is gonna kill me. There you go, Linda. So there are fountain pens with this angled nib. So that's how it looks. And the great thing about them is that you can get a really interesting line variation, which is great. For quick sketches, you can fill out areas really fast. And I just think it's interesting to have that variety of lines. So this is the Sailor de Mannen pen. You can find it also, I mean, I think this one is the one you can find on Amazon, but I picked up the pink one in Japan. I was very happy to find a pink one. And then this one is, I forgot how it is called, but yeah, this is like a tank compared to those. It's very, very sturdy, and it has a bit a longer tip, so you can really get these super thick lines. And this is wet. So really, really fun. I have to say, I don't know. I think just in recent months, I've been using a lot of pencils. So I haven't had a ton of use out of these, but I have, this one is newer, but these I have used a lot in the past. You know how it is. You move from one thing to the other ones. A few other favorites that they're just good products is this one is really fantastic. This is a brush pen from Pentel, and we'll get into brush pens soon, but it just has the thinnest tip. Really, really fun. There's no one worse than organized swatching than me. And you can get this really great variation of line, and you can get, you know, those dry strokes. This is a one-time use pen, which is a pity, and it comes in different colors. I bought a set of 4, but you know, probably the black one is the most useful. I just really, really love that super fine tip. It's a lot of fun. Now the Lamy pens are just lovely because they have just a huge variety of colors, and they're a good fountain pen. I think there's something about the Kaweco that I like a little bit more than them, but I still use them a lot and I still love them. Probably I use them more for writing, and then these ones I use for sketching. Not sure why, but that's how it is. So I have this beautiful minty color, and they're, again, a great affordable fountain pen. Now this one is relatively new to me. This is the TWSBI. And the great thing about this pen is this is more expensive than the other one. So probably, I think this one is close to 40 euros or something like that. And then these ones are around 20. And this one I think is around 10. The nice thing about it, as you can see, it has a huge ink space and it's clear. And I love it. I kind of wish I hadn't filled it with this turquoise ink, which I do like, but because it's water soluble and super, super intense, I don't use it as much. So I don't know, either I'll clean it out or I'll buy another one and fill it with, probably with my sketching, because I use this one a lot. So you can see this is the Walden ink. It's a fun ink. It's, you know, kind of a really intense turquoise, and it has also a purple shift to it. I thought I would get more use out of it, but I'm not getting as much as I thought. Should just start writing with it in my planner. But if that's your kind of thing, then you might like it. It's good quality ink. It's just not really into the color right now. So those are my favorite pens. Now, as for inks, I mentioned the sketch inks. That's kind of, I have another one that I really love the color of. This is the Herben, I'm not gonna even say it. This is how it is. It's, I'll show you with, I'll just take a brush, just pick up a bit ink. It's just a really lovely gray ink. Now I activated the turquoise, but you can see it's like a nice mid-tone. It's, or even a light color. Really, really beautiful. So if you like grays, then maybe you should try this. This is a French. So French know what they're doing with art supplies. And yeah, it's a beautiful color. I think I have it in one of my fountain pens somewhere. Okay, another few things I want to mention for markers. Markers are just a really nice way of adding color. My favorites are the Tombow, you know, double-sided markers, although I don't think I've ever used this side. I really love the, you know, kind of brush side. It's not a real brush, it's foam. But these are such beautiful quality. I love them. I've had them for years. They haven't dried on me, and, you know, the tips work great. Such a high quality product, in my opinion. These are also made in Japan, and they have a ton of colors. You can find them in most art stores in sets and also open stock, which is fantastic, and I think they're lovely. Now, the last kind of painting product I think that I'm going to mention are brush pens. I have a lot of them. Most of the ones that I have are the Jane Davenport ones. I think she really made brush pens popular with mixed media artists, and I love them. I use them quite a bit. They're really fun for sketching. They're fun for fashion illustrations if you do that. And, you know, you can get a very expressive line with them. Again, that you can get the dry brush effect, you can get thinner lines, thicker lines, and yeah, really fun stuff. All the brush pens that I have come across are filled with water reactive ink or water soluble ink, which actually makes them for me a really fun product, because I can play with the because I can add water and kind of see what happens. So I think it's fun. Jane Davenport has a lovely range of colors. Pentel makes also these brush pens. Unlike these ones, these are refillable, although I don't know if Pentel actually makes inks, but there's a ton of ink here. You'll need to paint a lot to run out of it. The issue that I have with these pens, they're fantastic, is the price. Where I live in Austria, in Europe, I think they cost about €8 for one brush pen, and that is kind of the reason that I only have, I think, 3 in my stash. You can find, besides the Jane Davenport ones, there are Altenew have brush pens, and they are also really nice. They have a really a small tip, so if you enjoy that, you might want to check them out. They have lovely colors. I think they have a few sets now. And other brands make them. Probably if you go to Michael's, you can find some. I found kind of a, you know, a store name brand in my local art store, which is Busnell. So they make their own, I mean, they put the name on someone's brush pens. Great for sketching if you want those expressive strokes. The last thing I want to talk about are some sketchbooks. Now, I mostly do art journaling with watercolors, but I do have some sketchbooks that I prefer to use with ink, and this is one of them. This is the Fabriano Quadrato artist journal. This is the small one, which is 16 centimeter sketchbook. There's a larger version. The fun thing about this is that there are 4 colors. I think you can see 4 colors of pages. So there's kind of a warm beige brown color. Then there is this, I don't know, cafe latte kind of color. And then there's a nice ivory cream color, and then there's a stark white one. And I really enjoy actually adding watercolors also to this paper, even though it's not watercolor paper, but it crinkles, which makes me happy. But this is, for example, with that teal ink that I showed you. It's really fun. I really enjoyed the paper quality here. This is sketching with Lily, my daughter. And again, I think that side was mine. And then she added a flower. And then that's Lily, as you can see. So a really, really fun journal. I think it's kind of one of those journals that is also fun to take with you because it's small. And you can see it kind of tore here. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. I kind of like my journals to get all crinkly and look well loved and used. Another recommendation that I have to mention when it comes to inks and watercolors and all that is Tomoe River paper. So this is just an insert that I got from an Etsy shop, and I'll leave a link to that shop. I've ordered a few times, not recently, but a few times in the past, and always had good experience. It's a quality product in my opinion. So these are just inserts with Tomoe River paper. If you're not familiar, it's a kind of a thin, I think, Japanese paper, I want to say. It's the paper that is in the Hobonichi sketchbooks, and it just has the most gorgeous reaction to watercolors. It crinkles and buckles. It's incredible. And it works really well with ink and kind of whatever you want to throw at it. It doesn't disintegrate, it doesn't fall apart. It's just fantastic. So I had to mention it. I adore it. Right now I have a Hobonichi Weeks as my planner, and I love it. And then the last sketchbook that I want to mention that's probably maybe a bit more traditional is the Stillman and Birn Alpha series. These are sadly not vegan, so I'm done with them, but I have used several of them in the past, and this one is by far my favorite. This is the 8x10 soft cover. It has this, you know, lovely soft cover in this deep, I don't know, mahogany kind of color. Would be great for fall. And the paper is it's heavyweight, but it's not extra heavyweight like their Beta series, which, you know, the paper is thicker, but honestly for a sketchbook I prefer thinner paper if it handles watercolor well, which is why I'm completely obsessed with my Fabriano Vergatone sketchbooks that I've been talking about for, you know, 3 months now. But this one, just I think it would work really well for sketching and then adding light washes. It does buckle a little bit, nothing too major, and yeah, I think it's a lovely sketchbook for inks, because when I imagine people working with inks, it's usually not like watercolors where you can go in for another layer and another layer and another layer. I really like the kind of sketchy, fast nature of what I imagine as, you know, sketching with inks. So those are my favorite products, and I hope this was helpful and enjoyable, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!